Because we always talk about the generational curses, but we don't talk about generational blessings.
Yeah.
We all are attached to generational blessings, but that's not what we've seen. So now I believe my why has evolved and will continue to evolve over time. But right now my why is, since the curses have broken off for me, how can I impact everyone else that God has placed me with to break the generational curses attached to them?
Who's ready for some girl talk?
Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm Nicole D. Miller, author, blogger, speaker, hybrid book publisher, and your host. At Girl Talk, we are a safe space for female leaders to engage in healing and edifying conversation. This is your Me Too empathetic corner, where we have authentic and transformative dialogue designed to uplift and connect high-achieving women like you. Are you looking for a safe space to cultivate sisterhood with other like-minded female bosses? Leave your cape at the door and join the conversation. Hi guys, and welcome back to Girl Talk. I'm your host, Nicole D. Miller. This week, we're unpacking what it truly means to do it all. You know that pressure, wearing every hat, juggling every role, spinning every plate. Somehow, some way, many of us are keeping it all together. On this episode, I sit down with 5 extraordinary women leaders: Butter Khan, Alysha Ellis, Micah Dixon, Ari Baker, and Cori Sykes. They each share their personal journeys of navigating careers, children, businesses, purpose, and the often unseen anxieties that come with it. We're answering questions that many of us quietly wrestle with. What drives us to keep going? What fears do we carry behind closed doors? And more importantly, how do we overcome them to build something meaningful? Whether you're leading in the boardroom, pivoting careers, or trying to create your place in this world, you'll find encouragement at Girl Talk. These women come from different industries, but what binds all of us at the table is resilience and the ability to thrive, even in the face of adversity. Their stories are raw, relatable, and filled with wisdom that will resonate deeply with any woman stepping into her power. This isn't just a conversation. It's a place to share, connect, and remind each other that we can do it all, but we don't have to do it alone. So, grab your favorite beverage, sit back, relax, and join the conversation.
Hi guys! Thank you guys so much for coming through. Welcome to Girl Talk. Yes, thank you. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nicole D. Miller. I'm an author, blogger, writer, speaker. I host these quarterly panel discussions featuring prominent women in our community who are go-getters. We actually tackle a different topic every time we have a discussion. So this discussion is called Doing It All. I specifically wanted to feature women who are wearing a lot of different hats. A lot of people will say to me like, well, you're doing a lot, you're doing the most. I feel like I would be doing the most if I was a mom, if I had a whole bunch of, other responsibilities happening. And so when I think of that, I think of these women. So I want to introduce you guys to them by reading their bios quickly. So we have Alysha Ellis here. On my right, Alysha works diligently to create spaces for underrepresented groups to unite and amplify their voices. Her wealth of experience in leadership, civic engagement, and community activism is spread across a few of organizations such as her multimedia platform, Larae, and Ignite with Light. She's a serial entrepreneur at heart. Alysha's business endeavors are massive, and she adds the title of author to her immense accomplishments. So here's a little secret. Alysha and I have known each other for a long time, and she actually was my first client for my publishing house and doing the publishing. And she's a dear sister and friend. So the next woman I'm introducing. Oh, go ahead. The next woman woman I want to introduce to you guys is Ari Baker. She is a nurse, wellness coach, group fitness instructor, and nurse educator. On top of being a stellar mother and partner, she obtained her undergraduate degree from Ursuline College, while she has her Master of Science in Nursing with a focus in nursing education from Chamberlain University. Ari has a passion to not only train individuals to meet their fitness goals, but a strong passion for educating individuals on holistic practices that treat the mind, body, and soul. While Ari loves to help anyone in need, she has a strong desire to help the lower socioeconomic community who face unfair treatment in the health industry. So Ari is also my step instructor. So if you guys follow my Instagram page, you already know. And one of the things I love about Ari is that she's a genuine spirit. She genuinely cares about her people. Sound good? All right. So some of you already know who I'm going to introduce, Micah Dixon. Micah is first and foremost a believer in Christ. Additionally, she wears the hats of mother, daughter, and a speaker of life. She holds the radio midday slot on Z107.9 weekdays. You tend to agree. Along with her profession, she's an influencer, podcaster, and gardener. Micah has a heart for people, their mindset, healthy living, and breaking generational curses. Lately, her favorite saying has been, "Watch your mouth, words carry power, and if you speak it, so it shall be." Yeah. And I am in awe of Micah because we literally only met a couple months ago, and it was just such a divine connection. Every time I was around her, I just was refreshed and in awe. And she actually here because we are collaborating with her platform, Group Chat, which I will be passing the mic for them to add more to their, thing. But she'll tell you more about Group Chat. But overall, I'm just refreshed at the time I'm in Micah's presence. So thank you for being here. We have Butter next to Micah. Butter has the first and only Black female-owned tattoo shop in Bedford Heights, known as Ink Therapy, where we are now. Ink Therapy Studio provides tattoos, piercings, permanent brows, and tooth gens. Butter has had the privilege of being featured on Fox 8 News twice in Channel 3 Baby. She's provided professional tattoos since 2016 at multiple locations before opening her own tattoo haven. Yeah. A mother of 3 talented boys who are just as gifted as their mom, she opened in 2021 during the pandemic and has been thriving ever since. So what just blessed my soul the very first time we connected, again, I was just in awe of your spirit and your heart to give and just so into even this, like giving us your space and always being a supporter. So thank you for being you. Yeah, dear. Lastly, we have Cori Sykes. In addition to manifesting book publishing dreams, she's an overall creative who pens children's books and romance novels, 2 of which have hit bestseller lists. When she's not writing or polishing, Cori enjoys reading, baking, running, creating YouTube videos, and puzzling. And you already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it again. So Cori is like the married mom version of me. We have so many things in common, but she's a faith-based book publisher in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was like, whenever we talked, it was so many things that we went through that was similar. So I knew it was a divine connection. And it confirmed even the part of the purpose that I was in, hearing your stories. Thank you so much. Rally. Well, I'm going to pass the mic. These ladies can share anything extra that they want to share about themselves. And then we're going to start our conversation.
Oh, would I even share? Let me see. I usually don't feel like it's too much to share. I really just enjoy publishing. I've been publishing books for, I want to say 4 years now. It was a pandemic project that actually wasn't supposed to be publishing. It was supposed to be a writer's center. And so I had to make what somebody else called a purposeful pivot. And so that's what I did. And it was the best pivot I've ever made because it's something that I could not see myself not doing. Since I started, I've published 7 books on the Write and Vibe imprint. I have 4 more slated for this year and possibly next year, depending on how edits go. And because of that, I'm not currently accepting any other clients. But if you want to hit me up, we can talk afterwards. It's one of the things I will not ever stop talking about. You have to get me to shut up. But that's about it. Awesome.
I guess I had to add this, like, thank you for Nicole for creating this space. We've been able to collaborate on multiple things in the city, personal, professional, obviously spiritual aspects. And I think one of the most powerful things about curating community is the beautiful things that come out of it. Like these type of gatherings and many others that some of us are a part. And kind of see this magic happen. You in a room with other creators who are open-minded to receiving what God has for us. And so I'm just excited for how this conversation is going to go and meeting everyone in the room. So thank you.
And I'll just share, Girl Talk got started a couple of years ago. We were meeting virtually. And one of the things that was in my heart was just struggling and building my brand, building my business. And I feel like I was like, look, use what's in your hand. Like, what's in your hand? And I knew, like, women. Like, I have swarms of women around me, and they're all killing it. So that's really the space that Girls Hop was birthed out of, is bringing all of these amazing women together and then having this need to experience, because we can isolate it in what we're going through and feel like we're alone. But then we start dialoguing and it's like, oh, me too. And we can support and edify each other through those conversations. Yeah. I love that. So, hi, everybody. I stopped at radio. I had a partnership with Remy Martin. So I have drinks for you in the back, the Dixon and group chat. Group chat allows it. Then I do once a month. That is where anyone wants to come and feel safe in the space to have regular sessions. We talk about everything from drama with single moms, single dads, to generational curses, to health and fitness. And I'm big on mindset. I'm big on watching what we eat, watching what we watch on TV, and listen to, and really feeding us a good thing. So, Nicole, thank you for having me here, and all of us here at Girl Talk with Group Chat Live. So just be an amazing thing, support to you. I make sure I set money, so my truths, so my experience, and here to help hopefully bless somebody. A little harder, get the better, for the enlightened, today gets easy. So that's not what it's on. Okay? I do want to add the reason we did slab the fruit chats, because our values are in alignment. So what Girl Talk is doing and envisioning, Micah's doing a fruit chat as well. So that's why we came together for this. Yes, thank you.
Hey. So amongst all the things that Nicole mentioned about me, I am an artist. I'm an artist from birth. That be gifted. I did not go to school for it. So a lot of the artists you'll see out there is my first love. Also, I'm a newly author, and what Nicole put when you said I do have my book here for sale, and it's called Layers of Ink, Breaking Skin. That is my first book. It is my book of spoken word. I do speak very transparently all the time. I'm an open book myself. Yes. I'm a big advocate on mental health and also domestic violence. I am a victim and also a survivor, a warrior of domestic violence, and I'm also an advocate. So I do offer my space as a safe space. So although I only take appointments here, when I am here, I have an open door policy. If anybody needs a peace of mind, a safe space to come and just rest if you want to work, and I offer that here. So I do give, godly given therapy to people, not just through my artwork, because that is my gift, to get therapy through my artwork. It's not just about the pieces I draw. It's about the help and luck that I pour into people through my creativity and my skill set. So, yeah, that's about it. Hey friends, how you doing?
Hey. My name is Ari Baker, but no one calls me that. Everybody calls me Ari. So again, I'm a nurse educator. But more so than just a nurse educator, I was put here to educate in totality. I am a fitness instructor, but what I really love is seeing the light bulb click on in people's minds when they learn something they were novice about before in the past. So that's what I do. So I do a little bit of everything. I'm a wellness coach. I'm also a big proponent advocate for autism awareness. I have a beautiful teenage young man who has autism. So if you follow me, I post a lot about him. I post a lot about my step classes and post a lot about nursing. But yes, I just like to talk about preventative care within the health and wellness within the African American and lower socioeconomic communities, because really we out here really having to fight for ourselves. We're in a very small portion within our communities. No one's coming to save us, so we need to save ourselves. So that's where I really love to focus on. So thank you, Nikki. Nikki's my student. I love her.
And I love that Ari calls you Nikki. It warms my heart. My mom always called me Nikki, and it's a family name, and not very many people do. So I love that. Delta A. Okay, so here are just a few ideas for you guys to know. This is a safe space. Although many of us are faith-based, it is a safe space for any belief. It's about us being women and supporting each other and giving space for that. So there's a saying that I kind of want to start. I want to say, hang your capes at the door. So just take off the cape. Be real, be transparent, be vulnerable. We're going to do a 1-hour dialogue. The theme is doing it all. And then we're going to open up the floor for Q&A. So get your Q&A ready from the audience members. And here's a little chant. I'm going to say, who's ready for some? And then you guys say, girl talk. Okay, let's try this and see how it goes. Who's ready for some girl talk? Those quick liners. I think people are intelligent. Yeah, they're all intelligent. All right, so we're going to kick this off with the first question. And we'll just make it easy because you guys are all go-getters. So what is your why? What is that thing that kind of keeps you going when you feel like you are tapped out? And if there's a question I ask and you don't feel comfortable sharing, you can always say pass.
My why changed throughout the years. At first, my why was very selfish. I love having credentials and letters behind my name, right? I like to check things off the list. So I would say, by 25, I need to have this. By 30, I need to have this. 35, I need to be here. A lot of us do that because we feel really good when we can award ourselves with things that make us feel relevant to other people. So my why shifted when I became an instructor, which was I noticed that a lot of people had a void or a deficit in their lives when it came to not just health and wellness, but spiritual awareness. A lot of us were going through the same things that I was going through. I was very, very, very lucky to start my instructor business in 2020 during COVID. I feel like a lot of us had to step out on faith during that time. And when I did that, I realized that being an instructor was really more than someone who's just commanded the willingness. You start becoming people's psychologists on the low, their dentists on the low. And when people who I didn't even know were hitting me up at different states saying, because you made this statement in class or because you made a good morning little sunshine, it stopped me from committing suicide or things like that. So my why became more so based on pouring into other people because I know that sometimes things I say to encourage myself, other people need it as well. So that's my why, to keep other people going.
Okay. My why. It's a big why. My why. In short words, my why is because I always ask why, and I started to ask why not. My why is my children. It seemed like I made a lot of bad decisions in my life that led to things that were beyond my control. I was in an abusive marriage severely for 8 years, and I used to wonder, like, why me all the time. I didn't make it to college. It was just a lot of my friends were going off living lives, getting married, having these great relationships. And I was sitting here feeling like I was a prisoner in my own home and my children deserved better. So it was like, what can I do into a survival mode of how to show them a different life, past adversity, past all the things I've been through, that they don't have to suffer like I did. And it also turned to not wanting anyone else to feel like I felt. Like, I never wanted anyone, no matter how low I was, to feel like that. So I always wanted to do something better, be bigger, be better, and be a vessel for someone through everything that I've learned, through all my adversity. So it was like, so it became, instead of why, it was like, why not? I'm the youngest, so I'm spoiled. I'm supposed to get what I want, and I earn everything that I get. So I needed to fight for it so I can make sure that my kids live a better life and make the different mistakes than what I made, to show them that they are worth everything, no matter what type of cards they're dealt, that they're worth more. Yeah, they're worth better because the world really doesn't give a crap about you. But I do, so I always tell my children, I can't give you the world, but I will give you all of mine. Yeah. And that's my goal. And that's my story. I literally want to touch lives and leave a mark on the world, not just physically with my tattooing. Yeah. but an imprint in this world. So when you remember me, it won't just be by like a famous name. It'll be because she told me something positive. She made me feel good. She inspired me to do something great. She was a beautiful spirit, not just a pretty person. And that is my life.
Yeah, bye.
My why is transitioning, or has transitioned from my children. My life has transitioned from last year to where I am now. Over the past 2 years, that's changed. And my why was always my kids. And now my why is my assignment. Because God knows, if you know my story, you know. So long story, so long way. But I'm here on assignment. I'm here to be a blessing unto others the best I can. I'm here to speak light. I'm here to pour. I'm here to be a light. I'm here to say my truth about going through darkness. And you don't have to stay there and coming out. And it gets... I'm here to share my story. So, it's so dark. Right? I'm a white school. Like, Lord, this is so heavy. What I be? It's like, because you can handle it. I got you always. Wait. Help me to trust you. I don't trust you this season. So my why is just my assignment. Be on the assignment. Give your assignment. I'm already praying everyone in the room. You already thought it. You already blitzed. I'm listening, receive it, but I'm pouring makeup. So I'm here on assignment. It's my...
Thank you for sharing, Micah. And that reminds me, I didn't realize until afterward, and I was telling Alysha, it's like, everybody is like strong believers. Fan all okay, we gotta read. But I'll say, for me, a big why is my mother and grandmother who transitioned, and being able to fulfill legacy that my ancestors didn't get to, who were not able to read and write. And now I get to publish books. It's like, I get to do this. To be a homeowner, to be a business owner. I mean, because of the oppression and the obstacles that were in place and their blood, sweat, tears that fought for me to have a better opportunity, I wanted to make sure that I capitalized on that. And I don't want to waste my life, which is a spiritual experience too. It's like, I don't want to be at the end of my life and realize I didn't fulfill purpose. Maybe I made money. Maybe I bought properties. Maybe I got famous. So I didn't fulfill purpose, so I missed the mark. And that would be does a saying to me. I'm going to look for something that's going to last eternally. And like you guys said, touch lives. And that was one of my biggest whys for writing my first book, How to Overcome Power Break and Be Transparent. As uncomfortable as it was, I just kept thinking, who's on the other side of this that needs this? So I resonate with what you guys said.
That's good. Yeah. Ooh, y'all. I want to do with y'all wise. That sounds real good. For me, originally, it was breaking the generational curses upon my family and my life. That was my original why. Drug addiction, being pregnant at a young age, like wanting to disrupt everything that I saw growing up.
Yeah.
And I remember like talking with God when I was probably like 15, and I'm like, this can't continue. Like, I don't want what I've seen in my culture, in my community. Like, it stops here, it stops with me. And then once God worked that out with me, like the last like 3 or 4 years ago, and I saw like the curses are broken, it was like, all right, now what? Because we always talk about the generational curses, but we don't talk about generational blessings. Yeah. We all are attached to generational blessings, but that's not what we see. So now I believe my why has evolved and will continue to evolve over time. But right now my why is, since the curses is broken off of me, how can I impact everyone else that God has placed me with to break the generational curses attached to them? And now it's like this ripple effect into conversations, into business, into networking, into community, where it's like, okay, I'm having a conversation. I feel like those curses are breaking immediately just by the dialogue. And so now I see the forest multiplication of when you catch fire, how that fire just connects and builds larger and larger who God has in your life. So that's where I was saying a lot.
Oh, okay. So I had to think about my why because it's something that had been on my heart a lot recently, because I had just been feeling like tired of still going. Because when I first started, I was like, well, my why is because I just don't want to work full time. Like, now that was his thing. But then after that, I'm like, well, why am I still working full time? Like, so I had to, and I was like, okay, well, I'm doing it for my kids. But then I'm like, well, this literally takes me away from my kids. So, and if it's not providing those financial blessings that I thought would then take me away from my job so that I could spend more time with my kids, is it really working?
Well,
Right. And so I did realize that my why, because I had a conversation just really random with this family member that came out of nowhere. It was like, I'm like, I don't even know you, Becky. How we related? So my first why is because I do know that if I do not write, I do feel incomplete. Like that is part of my creative being. It is part of my essence. Like I cannot just not be creative in some way. So it has to come out. My second why is because my family member who sent me a random Facebook message, she's like, your grandfather would be so proud if he could see how his family had come to, how his wishes had came out, right? So she's like, she then goes to tell me that my grandfather was, he was married to, and I didn't spend a lot of time with my grandparents. They died when I was pretty young. But I knew them. I spent summers with them probably up until the age I was 10. And then after that, they passed on. But my grandfather worked 4 jobs. My grandmother worked 2 jobs. And they did that for their 7 kids so that they wouldn't then have to know the struggle. And so if I start thinking back to all the work that the generations have done before me, in order for me to be even able to be like, I'm going to be a writer, I'm going to own my own publishing company. I really start to then look at my daughters and look at them like, well, maybe I am actually doing it for them, but just not in the way that I originally thought. I'm doing it in a way so that when they're older, maybe they can be like, well, maybe they're going to be a best-selling author, or maybe they're feeling like, because my mom did this, now I feel confident enough to then do that. So that's my second why. But my third why is there is nothing better than being able to help other people's dreams come true. To heavens. When my authors are able to hold their book in their hand, like I don't cry in front of them, but I do cry the tears when I get home. I really just being able to be there with them when they look at all the hard work that they put into it. And it's really like I'm delivering a whole baby to them. Like I'm a doctor, but those are a few different whys, but I feel like I really need all of those whys because they are part of just my whole story.
And then, yeah, like that. I love labor. I'm still we doctors out here, okay? You solely should have placed me delivering babies. All right, great. No degree needed. No sin. Here's the next question. What insight do you have to your purpose and identity, and how do you arrive at those insights? Jake. TK, D quick. I need to stop. What insight do you have to your purpose and identity, and how did you arrive at those insights?
Part of my purpose, like I mentioned earlier, was leaving a mark on the world. I learned that going through my ugly dark space. It was a quote. So I was working in the post office for like 9 years. I was in the post office for 9 years before I just walked away, stepped down on faith, right? I was having this breakdown. This was like sort of in the beginning of my postal time. And I was going through, like, I had just got divorced. I was going through a lot of harassment and stalking. It was just ugly, y'all. It was crazy. So I go to work and I'm like losing it. And I didn't know that my coworker was a pastor. I didn't know that. So I go in the room and I'm always talking to Tony Lee. I don't know if you guys know Tony Lee. I walked in there. I was like, Tony, I can't take it. He's like, what is wrong with you? I closed the door. I was just start bawling like, I don't know what to do. No voice is fake. And I was just like I was at my wit's end.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, but he called me D. He said, D, sometimes God puts you through things that's not always for you. It's not for you. And I was like, what the hell do you mean? Like, was that it burnt out? Like, I'm losing it. He's like, it's not always for you. And so years later, going through these things and started doing testimonies and speaking to women and telling my story, I used to be embarrassed about the things that happened to me. Like, this is embarrassing. I don't want to tell anybody, like, tonight I got married. He was like, why did we even do this? You know, I was like, how do you say, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you tell people? And so years later, after sharing my story, I had people come up to me and said, I would have never known because of the story you told me. I know I could do it now. Like, I would have never known you've been through this. And I'm sitting here like, girl, you not seeing this shit? Like, but he was like, you know, so understanding how I just helped someone. Yeah. I started to see my purpose. The light started getting brighter. It started getting brighter. And I was like, I need to share it. You know what I mean? And the more I started doing more artwork, it started touching people. I started seeing them healing. And then I kept having random strangers tell me, you're a healer. Hey, how am I a healer? I'm not a pastor. You know what I mean? I'm a therapist. I'm a godly given, being, you know, gifted, appointed therapist to help people. And so it's my purpose, and it started being brighter. And so I know my purpose, and now I try to do my best to uphold that and live it even, you know, fuller. Yes. And earn it. So now it has to make me fix myself even more, right? Because you can't help somebody when you are chewed up all the time, right? So you have to start looking in the mirror at yourself. And I did also realize that a lot of things that I was telling people was something I needed to tell myself. Wow. How do you tell somebody how beautiful they are if you don't feel like you're beautiful? You can't sell the product if you're not living it, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If Ari wasn't working out, how she gonna tell somebody, get up and work out time while I sit here and get iceberg, you know? So go exactly. The way. So how do you do that? How do you tell somebody that God has got them if you unbelieve? So I needed to live my purpose, and it made me fix myself. On top of the fact that I had children, they're always watching me. Yeah. And what they tell you, when somebody thinks one thing, there's 1,000 other people thinking that too. So my children watching me. How many more children you think I had? I had a lot of given children. So that helped lead me to my purpose. A little bit. Love that so much. Nikki, read it one more time for me. What's wrong with on? Make sure to write that.
What insight do you have to your purpose and identity? How did you arrive at those insights?
Okay, so I had to get it together. How ignorant you, y'all. So my thoughts go. So I was pushed into position. So I've always been one of those people who would dim my own light out of fear of making other people uncomfortable. And God told me a couple of years back, girl, get from back there. I will always go to the back of the room because I didn't want to make people feel like or think that I was better than them, or I was trying to steal the attention from them, or I was trying to make them uncomfortable because of what I brought to the table. And I lived in that space until my 30s. I'm 35 now, probably till 30, 31. And so I never wanted to be an instructor. I never wanted to be an educator or a teacher. All these things were gifted to me where I didn't feel like I was worthy enough. I didn't feel like I was qualified enough. I didn't feel like I should even be invited to the table. Because why? Because I'm good at stepping on the board, or because I'm good at public speaking, I should be a teacher, you know. So when I went to go get my master's degree, I went initially to be a nurse practitioner because that's what everybody was doing. I need to be a nurse practitioner by the age of 32. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And COVID came and they shut everything down in my school. And I had enough credits to graduate as a nurse educator, opposed to getting into the hospital and having to get my clinicals for an NP. And that set something off where people say, you know what, I love how you explain things as a nurse, how you're able to break things down and I can understand it as a patient. So where I'm not, you're not just saying big words, but I can really absorb things. And I get the same thing when I teach as an instructor. I'm able to break things down so people can absorb them. So my purpose was learning how to not being afraid to shine, not going with my basic instinct to go to the back into the corner because I learned even when I went to the back or the corner, I still shine. People still saw me and people still hate it and some people still support it. So when God really makes you that star, that diamond, you can literally be in the corner. You can be in the darkness and people are going to notice you. So you should embrace that. So I push myself forward and I still get uncomfortable about it. Like right now, I'm sitting here with anxiety, like, oh my God, it's not, but I told God when I walked in here today, it's like, God, I don't want to, because I had an emotional weekend. I said, I want to speak through emotion. But he corrected me. He said, but maybe that's what you need to do. You need to speak what comes to your spirit and what your heart, because you never know what people in the crowd are going through as well. So my purpose is not just to educate, but it's to inspire people through whatever they're going through. Like, it's okay to shine and say, you know what, if you're talented in something, it's not your responsibility to dim your light to make anybody else feel comfortable. It's not my goal to be palatable to anybody in here. Like, and that's just where I'm at right now. So it's my pretty good. So that.
You guys have just completed part 1 of Doing It All. As you can see, I have a full lineup. Can I tell you a secret? I chose these women feeling like I didn't measure up to them. I didn't see myself in the same lane as them because I wasn't wearing as many hats. I wasn't scaling at that level in my businesses. The interesting thing is that episode was when my goddaughter came to live with me. During that time period, I became a mom, and that was the biggest role I couldn't previously relate to. Now, I surely can. Even after becoming a mom, I picked up a part-time gig. I was doing that on top of running my businesses and writing and publishing and everything for my goddaughter. God has jokes, I'll tell you that much, because that episode was a launching out for me of sorts. I've talked about this in previous conversations. I was raised by women whose children were their why. But when my mom transitioned, I didn't have kids, so I really struggled with my purpose. I think God gave me a kid after I found my purpose, so I wouldn't lose my identity in being a mom. But as we hear, He can do it in the reverse way. Butter, Cori, Micah, Ari, all share that their children were used to motivate them to keep going. I really appreciated Butter's transparency and how behind she felt in life. Have you ever felt like you were behind? I know I have, and one example of that was in not being a mom for so long. Butter talked about how her friends moving forward and living their lives while she felt like a prisoner was really hard. But thankfully, her why became setting a better example for her children. The reason I asked the women about their why is because I've learned life is rough. There are so many obstacles to walking a life of purpose that you need something bigger than you to keep going. Ari learned that the things she needed to hear herself encouraged others when she shared them on social media. That's a tangible way to keep yourself going and reach others. Some of the other whys were our assignment, our ancestors, touching others' lives, and breaking generational curses. Alysha introduces us to the concept of creating generational blessings. I agree with her statement that so often we only talk about breaking the curses, but not enough about walking in the blessings. I can say I've definitely been the beneficiary of blessings with being a first-gen homeowner and business owner, the first to go to an accredited university and obtain an advanced degree in 3 generations. It's been God's grace, my parents' investment, and my commitment to purpose that has afforded me these opportunities. Can you relate? Another thing that Alysha shared that hit me was that curses can be broken through dialogue. That is exactly what Girl Talk is all about, healing through dialogue. As I mentioned in this conversation, this episode was special because we did a collab with Z107.9's radio host, Micah Dixon. Micah's group chat has a very similar vibe of Girl Talk, and I love the work she's doing. They meet monthly, and you can follow them on Instagram. On that note, you can follow all of our panelists and catch their contact info in the show notes. Another statement from the conversation that resonated with me was when Cori shared, "If I do not write, I don't feel complete." Selah. Of course, that speaks to me being a writer, but I think you can fill in the blank. If I don't blank, I don't feel complete. What word fills in that blank for you? The wild thing is, I didn't seek to be a writer or a publisher or a host or a podcaster. I just sought God. I just sought purpose. When you commit to being in alignment of the divine flow, your calling will search you out. You don't have to even look for it. In what ways does your purpose look different than you thought? Do you feel you found your divine flow? If you haven't, I hope you gained some tips and insights in this conversation. As much as we may want it to be, life is never a linear line. It's more like a moving spiral uphill staircase. It's those of us who have the tenacity to hold on who make that impact in history. All right, guys. To catch more nuggets and gems from these heavy hitters, make sure you join us for part 2 of Doing It All. And remember, I attract amazing women doing amazing things. That means, sis, you're amazing. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. To continue the conversation, join our Girl Talk community by following @GirlTalkCLE on Instagram and Facebook.com/HTOHB, where you can join the Girl Talk Facebook group. You can follow me personally on Instagram @HTOHB, on Facebook.com/HTOHB, and at YouTube.com/@HTOHB. Feel free to reach out via email info@indiemillerpublishing.com. If you're a writer who wants to take the next steps into becoming a published author, you can book a one-on-one consultation at indiemiller.pub. Just let me know you heard about my publishing house through Girl Talk, and I'll give you a 50% discount on our one-on-one. If you'd like weekly inspirational nuggets, you can subscribe to my blog and monthly newsletter at NicoleDMiller.com, where you can learn more about me and my writings.